It's recording.
Are you feeling like we're going back to school and you're kind of, maybe you're feeling excited that your kids are going to be gone, but you're going to be kind of in this weird disorganized state of like, oh my gosh, I don't know what my routine is. It might be cool the kids are going to be gone, but you're going to be left floundering. And for us, we're homeschooling moms and feeling literally like we're walking in to get flogged, like I got to start this again. Like I'm not ready to get back into the grind with the homeschooling stuff. Either way, I think we all have this weird transition at school time of feeling like, how can we get it together as moms? So today we want to talk about how you can transition into this back to school routine without feeling frazzled and like you're just drowning. So we're Stephanie and Crystal, the Busy Boss Mamas with the Focus and Fulfilled podcast. Thank you for joining us.
And I'm Crystal. And I wanted to start out with a little story. This morning, I was reading, my Bible and doing my stuff. And I was reading about St. Paul. He was coming back to Israel and he kept getting warned by people. Don't go back there. The Jews are going to kill you. Don't go back there. And he went anyway and ended up, he knew he was going to get tied up and beaten, and he got beaten to an inch of his life, and the Roman soldiers ended up having to get him. And I thought, that's kind of how the school year feels. You know it's coming and you need to do it. You've got to do it. You got to do what you got to do. You can't avoid it and go around it or dart around it. You have to do it. But it's going to be a little rough. Rough.
It's going to happen
starting end. You're going to wake up all bleary-eyed and be like, oh my gosh, I got to get going. And the kids are there. And who wants to start the school year out dropping their kids off in their jammies? Y'all know
exactly. Either
fuck and run. Don't open the door so wide. Don't open it.
You're either going to have to. Yeah. You're going to have to either fight the kids getting up and getting ready and like fight the slog of getting them out the door, and like you're in a hurry and it's frazzly, and getting them off to school every day and making sure they have their lunch and all the things. Or like us, you're like, do I really have to get them up and start like hassling them about getting their schoolwork done by...
Nope, you muted yourself.
I muted myself. Oh no, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay, but it's because my phone wasn't on Do Not Disturb. Okay, so let's talk about how some ways that you can get this transition without feeling that way, without feeling overwhelmed and like, oh my gosh. And I think the biggest thing I think that is like the kind of the core of all of it working or not working is your nighttime routine and your morning routine, right?
Yes, absolutely. Because that's the worst part, right? I think the biggest thing that whether you send your kids to school or you are homeschooling, or heck, even if you're a teacher, is making sure that you've got the nighttime. Now you've gone from this kind of, open, we can go to bed here in this general time frame, and then we get up, around such and such times. But during the school year, it's like, no, you need to be in bed at 8:30 and you need to be up by 6 or 5:30 or whenever your kids have to be off to school. And it's hard to go in that transition, and you're dreading the laying in bed for 2 hours and looking at the ceiling, and the kids are going to whine because they're not tired and the sun's still kind of up. And
yeah, it's definitely a hard transition. And these are the things that I myself struggle with too, of like, oh my gosh, I'm like, nighttime routine with my kids is not the best. But we're going to talk today about some ways that we need to take our own advice too, as of setting yourself up for success for the night so that you can set yourself up for success for the next morning, whether you're hustling your kids out the door or whether you're trying to get organized for your own homeschool day. And there's definitely things that you can do, and it really just takes preparation. So for me, I know that where it really starts for me in the night is dinner. If I can't get dinner on time and I'm feeling any sort of disorganized about dinner, I can bet my bottom dollar that my kids aren't going to get to bed on time if I don't get dinner started. Right. And if you don't know what you're going to make for dinner, then you're not going to start dinner on time. If you don't have the ingredients for your dinner, you're not going to be able to start dinner on time. Then your kids aren't going to go to bed on time. And it not only that, it really gives the household an energy of disorganization and chaos, which is exactly what you don't want. And for one thing that's like coming to my mind right now, like, don't expect perfection. Don't create this like, I'm going to write out my ideal, like, at such and such time we're going to do this. It's such and then so that you can be like, I suck at everything. I'm going to go from this.
As soon as you've missed one of those check marks, all of a sudden you're like, oh, I just I can't do it. And 10 o'clock rolls around. And you're like, the kids are still up.
Right. And you're feeling like, I'm going to go from this completely like out of routine summer schedule to all of a sudden I'm going to have it like, I'm going to be a drill sergeant. I'm going to have this military schedule. No, you're not.
No. Like, so make it an easy meal the first couple of nights of getting into the routine.
I'd say your first couple weeks.
Yeah.
Sit down and plan. Don't be making like gourmet things. Like, plan your easy go-to meals that you probably are going to have staples for in your pantry, in your fridge.
Or you can, Instacart in from Walmart, Safeway, Fred Meyer's type places.
That is my newest like love is this Instacart idea.
Yeah, let's have it delivered to your house, which I would like to do, but I'm not in a place that can have delivery, so I make sure I do pickup. It saves time. And also when you're making these meals, like, even pop in the oven pizza if you have to, or spaghetti out of a can, like spaghetti sauce from the can. Make whatever you can, make it simple so that you can hit those timelines and then set it up, because you want to get everybody into the evening routine you're going to be having during the school year.
Yeah, because it's really just about setting yourself up for the most possible likelihood of success here. Like, things aren't going to be perfect, but you just got to do the best you can. But like, one of the best tips I've learned as a mom is just what Crystal just said, is like always having some kind of backup meal available for any of those nights, especially when we have nights of sports. And I know a lot of you have kids for us, soccer season is starting. A lot of people, their kids are in football right now. So you have those sports that you're trying to do and reestablishing with school. If you have kids that you're running back and forth places, have a few backup meals that's like, okay, if I don't get to the meal that I planned on cooking tonight, I do have a pizza in the oven. Like the other night Costco has that, that bird's eye like pasta with vegetables that you toss in a pan and add water and cook it for 20 minutes or whatever. And it's good. And it's even got vegetables in it. So, while it's not the best choice, it's like, well, it's not that bad. You know what I mean? So having those backup meals as your plan B for any night that might not go as planned, I think is a really great idea.
Yeah. And then also on that nighttime routine, like, I like to turn my diffusers on a little bit earlier with some calming oils, because the kids are up. The sun is still pretty dang bright at dinner time. Just to start the wind down process, because it takes so much to wind down and not lay in bed and stare at the ceiling, especially when the kids know the sun's out there. Get some blackout curtains. They are worth every penny to get blackout curtains and black out your dang windows. And they're really not that pricey anymore. And basically get your house shut down as the time goes, like close your blinds at dinner. So all the blinds, it's getting darker, just to keep winding the mind down, keep screens off, and so the blue light it's stimulating like the sun is. So keep the screens off and just start winding down that couple of hours before you're going to put the kids to bed. And maybe, I don't know if you read stories with your kids or prayers, or have them shower, or, any of the things that people do right before their normal school year bedtime routine. Like, kind of start that, and then have the kids sit in bed and read a book or color or do something for 30 minutes before it's lights out, just so that they're
something quiet and
down. Not like my little boys who are like, it's time for sword fights, and all of a sudden their beds are pirate ships and things like that.
Yeah,
So
or the kids are thinking like, oh, we can watch our show until 8:30 or 9 and then we'll start
yeah,
bedtime. Like, no, really try to, maybe so you're not shocking your kids, depending on what your summer routine's been like. If they've had screens, don't expect that you're gonna like pull screens completely, the day before school starts or whatever, but
yeah.
allowing them those things earlier in the day when it's okay that their brain is stimulated, but just kind of having a little bit of this nicer transition and shift in the evening so that the atmosphere of your home is calmer after dinner.
Yes. And
And that will
it's
make it
got
a lot
the
easier
wind
for you.
down feel. So your brain is constantly checking the environment, knowing the environment and seeing what's going on so that it can regulate the hormones. Is it time to be awake? Should I be stimulated? Should I not be stimulated? And so your body's regulating itself with all these hormones constantly. So if you can show your body and calm your mind a little bit at evening time, then it'll be easier for the kids to go to sleep so that they're not so tired the next day and you aren't dragging them out of bed. Or I know some kids, I used to get super excited and get up early on the first day of school, but come day three rolls around and it's like, do I have to get out of bed? I don't want to get out of bed. I'm so tired. It's still sunny out.
Right. Right. I think it's that plan. Anytime you can plan anything in your life, even just with tiny little tips of plan, at least a loose plan, you're going to make things a lot easier on yourself of
Yeah.
just setting these intentions and also expecting that things aren't going to go great. Like don't allow yourself to feel like a failure. Don't rail on your kids if things aren't perfect those first
Yeah.
couple weeks, but just try to get a little bit better every day about making that evening routine a little bit better. And then the other thing that I feel like is actually probably even, well, it's kind of like
For
what comes
mom,
first, the chicken or
for
the egg,
mom,
but like,
it's most
yeah, for
important.
mom, I feel like the morning routine is super key, but if you can't get your evening routine right, you're not going to be able
Same.
to get the morning routine right because you're going to be too tired and you're exhausted by the evening. So if you can't get to sleep in time and you can't like prepare your day the night before, then it's going to be a lot harder. But I cannot emphasize enough how important it is to get your self-care time in the morning before your kids wake up so that you can gather your mind and be feeling like you're ready to go so that you're in a good space for your kids. You can't pour from an empty cup. Don't be waking up with your kids on those school mornings as you're trying to transition. That is a recipe for disaster. If you want to feel frazzled and like you're drowning and you can't get your shit together, wake up with your kids when you're trying to get them ready for school seriously or
Yeah.
ready for homeschooling. Like wake up and at least 30 minutes before your kids and do something for yourself and have a plan so that you have something your brain's looking forward to. Because if you've been sleeping in, um, it's going to be even harder for you to wake up, right? Because you're like, I don't want to get back into this. But if you have something that your brain can look forward to and a plan, then you're going to be more likely to be seeking out that reward for when you're waking up early.
Yeah. And then you'll remember it as you're in that groggy state going, oh, I don't know, I want to stay in bed. But if you're like, oh no, I need to have 30 minutes to read a book, or you want to watch your favorite show, or if you're somebody who gets a little energy and rejuvenation from talking with a friend or something, like ask your friend if you can call each other at 6:30 or whatever, before you wake your kids up and be like, let's have a little chit chat before, it'll help me get out of bed. And just kind of have that little bit of something, whatever it is that rejuvenates you. Steph likes to journal. I like to read a book or just be alone. I'm somebody
Yeah,
who
or
hates like that.
buy
Or wake up
yeah,
with
buy
your
your
husband
favorite
and have breakfast together.
Yeah, buy your favorite coffee so you know like you get to look forward to that and you don't allow yourself to open that bag of your favorite coffee until the first day of school. So you're looking forward to like having that in the morning or put out your workout clothes and your shoes and have them ready to go jogging in the morning or go for a walk in the morning as like the sun's coming up or something like that so that you're looking forward to it, your brain's expecting it and you're getting up and that more than anything I feel like will help you to be ready for the next day. So I think that those intentions and setting yourself up for success will really be the key to making yourself feel less frazzled. So here at the
Yes.
Busy Boss Mama, we're all about like setting yourself up with really good habits. And part of getting good rest and feeling energized, I
Is
think
having
we like,
energy.
yeah, having energy. And I think we like to think that it's all about our routine, or I'm not doing good enough at that, and that's why I'm tired all the time or whatever. It really, the basis of the energy that you have is how well you're taking care of your metabolism, right? Like your
which
cells need to be producing that energy so you feel good,
which is
right?
all
So,
about your regulation of your hormones and stuff. Your metabolism regulates everything, the energy across the cell, which is all modulated with your hormones.
right. And
So,
we all know what a trip it is when your hormones are fluctuating and you can feel it. And you're like, oh, now I'm a beast. That's really cool.
especially as
I'm a,
women, all of us, hello, periods
yeah,
and
I'm a beast and
pregnancy and
I'm tired.
postpartum.
Right. So we're getting really starting to love the idea of really getting our metabolism in check. And part of strong metabolic health is helping your body to stop like spiking with its sugars, which we all, when we have a hard time, we want to eat more sugar. So we are ramping up to launch another Crush Your Cravings Challenge, a 21-day Crush Your Sugar Cravings Challenge that will be, we haven't announced the dates yet, but that's coming up. So if you want the deets on that so that you can save a seat, visit us at busybossmama.com and you'll be able to be the first to know when that's going to start. And if you have any questions or anything you want us to address, be sure to put it in the comments of our podcast or shoot us an email or something so that we can tackle a topic that you want us to talk about. So
Yeah.
my kids, you can hear them. So this is my sign. I gotta go.
Bye.